The keeps grove, thou glowing shrine of thirst traps, scams, and dollar signs. We chant in tones both grim and low, for virtue fled a long time ago. Kyrie eleison, Christe descendat, final form Jesus return in wrath. With six-pack listening, sword in hand, he cometh swift to cleanse the land.
Oh, where is it? Nope. Here we go. A speeding phantom Ferrari driver was finally captured after 6 years of evading Czech authorities. And happy birthday, Debbie! Yay! Have a great day. Do something fun. Have a cupcake if you want it, or ice cream, or whatever sweet or savory thing you want. And if you decide to just spend the day, curled up eating snacks, that sounds like a perfect birthday too. Also, how does someone just have a Formula One car just randomly? He has a need for speed and a lawyer. Police have finally caught up with the mysterious speed demon who has been illegally tearing up the Czech motorways in a Ferrari Formula One style car for nearly, more than half a decade, 6 years. The phantom Ferrari driver was followed by cops to a property in the village of Bulk, 37 miles from Prague, where they arrested a 51-year-old man behind the wheel, Czech police have said on a post on X. Again, how do you have a Formula One car just randomly? The distinct car, driven by an individual clad in full racing gear, has been spotted speeding and evading traffic authorities numerous times since 2019. Now, the video from Sunday morning shows off the car driving around the D4 motorway and stopping at a gas station. Footage also captured the reluctant driver arguing with officers that they say were trespassing on his property. His son later told Czech media that several dozen police cars and a helicopter swarmed the home, blasting the police response as disproportionate to a supposed traffic violation. Now, the man, whose name has not yet been released, eventually agreed to be taken to the police station for questioning and was brought there in his full racing getup. He refused to comment on the entire situation when given an explanation. The police will forward the entire matter to the administrative proceedings. Now, police first tracked down the rowdy racer in 2019 after images of him circulated online, but when they located the vehicle, he denied ever driving it on the motorway. The driver has long been unable to be identified due to the helmet obscuring his face. It's not known if it's the same individual who was stopped in 2019 as is the same man as the one recently arrested. He faces a fine in an order of several thousand crowns, a former Czech currency, and driving ban, the police said. Now, though the car has also often been referred to as a Ferrari Formula One car, it is technically a Dallara GP2-8 race car developed in Italy. Okie dokie. The car is a feeder series for Formula One. Again, I still don't understand, but I guess it's the perfect crime if you're wearing a helmet and no one can, figure it out who you are. Then there you go. Now, I always was fascinated about this when I learned about this, but because I never believed it at first until I started hearing stories, but actually one of the most dangerous creatures in Africa is actually hippos, which you wouldn't think, but they're actually incredibly aggressive and territorial. So this is a really sad story, but a good thing to know if you're going to Africa, I guess. A hippo has been accused of capsizing a boat in the Ivory Coast, leaving 11 people missing, including children. A rogue hippopotamus capsized a boat packed with passengers in Ivory Coast, leaving 11 people, including small children, missing, according to authorities. Now, the boat was carrying 14 passengers traveling along the Sansandra River in the southwestern town of Boyo on Friday morning when it was overturned by a hippo, according to a statement from Miss Beldonde Dogo, a West African minister of cohesion and solidarity. Then why is she talking about hippos? Wouldn't there be like a minister of like deadly animals? It is with deep sorrow that we learned that 11 people, including women and children, have gone missing following a boat capsized caused by a hippo. Now, the ages of the passengers involved are not yet known, and only 3 have been confirmed to have survived the freak accident as of right now. Now, search and rescue operations are still underway looking for the missing. Distressed by this tragedy that upsets us all, the government of the Ivory Coast joins in the pain of the parents and relatives of the missing and or deceased and express solidarity to the survivors. Now, roughly 500 hippos reside in the Ivory Coast, inhabiting most of the southern rivers. The massive mammals are the most common cause of animal attacks that cause death or injuries in the country, according to a 2022 study by Ivory Coast researchers. Now, there are different estimates for the number of people killed each year by, well, hippos. And the low estimate is around 500. Now, hippos are the second largest land mammals after elephants and can weigh a whopping 7,000 pounds. They can be up to 11 feet long and roughly 5 feet tall. In May 2023, one child passed away and over 20 villagers went missing after a hippopotamus capsized a boat in Malawi. So, yeah, be careful if you see a hippopotamus. They are not like Fantasia told us, happy and doing ballet. No, they in fact are cold-blooded psychopaths. Speaking of cold-blooded psychopaths, if you were living under a rock this weekend, you might have missed this story, but it does have a happy ending, and the evil Karen, well, got doxxed, and even the a woman who looks somewhat like the evil Karen got doxxed. Phillies Karen caught in 2 more verbal confrontation with baseball fans after home run ball flap video. Phillies Karen, aka the woman who entered into a verbal altercation with a father and a son at Friday night's Marlins and Philly game in Miami, was also caught engaging in back and forth with at least 2 other attendees. A nearly 50-second long clip shared by Colin Rugg on X shows the woman, who flipped out, approaching someone who heckled her, then flipping off an entire section of booing game owners or game goers. The Phillies Karen was captured on camera getting into a guy's face for heckling her after she demanded the home run ball from a child. Rugg wrote via X, the woman marched over to a man in an Eagles jersey and got right in his face before she appeared to flip off an entire section, completely unhinged. Now, internet sleuths also misidentified the woman as Cheryl Richardson Wagner, who had to address the entire situation on her own social media accounts. Okay, everyone, I am not the crazy Philly mom. But sure, I would love to be as thin as she is and move as fast. And I'm a Red Sox fan, she wrote in a post shared on Facebook Saturday. Now, the Phillies Karen gained attention after she was caught confronting the father of a 10-year-old boy who had made an attempt to snatch a ball hit near her during a game. After he made off with the ball, the woman approached the man and appeared to yell at him and lay hands on him like she grabbed his arm. The exchange soon made its way online, where the internet promptly decided the woman was in the wrong and the dad was in the right, mostly as the woman's seat was near the ball's flight path, whereas the man had to traverse several seats where she argued he had pulled it from her grip. So if you have missed this, I am glad that both teams seem to take care of the little boy instead of, letting this dingus win, because that was irritating. Oh, good night, nurse. Aha. Not sure what happened there, but let's get the news back up. It's going to be a fun day. We're going to learn all about what is going on with Mo's internet connection. We have no idea. What in the Hades in a handbasket is going on here? Again, final form Jesus, what is going on here? A New York City case is in chaos after a pornographic video of a compromised juror hampers an attempted murder trial, stranger than fiction. A Manhattan trial was recently thrown into chaos by the revelation of largely sexual pornographic videos starring a juror and a wannabe killer defendant. This could only happen in my wildest dream. The criminal, with help from his mother, tried using steamy footage to overturn his conviction in a situation that stunned even his own veteran lawyer. But the judge wouldn't budge, and Avery Dunning, 37, now faces up to 25 years in prison for shooting his 41-year-old female East Harlem neighbor in the head during a 2023 fight. Now, this saga has been stranger than fiction, said the Manhattan Supreme Court Judge Daniel Convoisier. Now, the bizarre ordeal began after the trial ended and right as Dunning was set to be sentenced in July. That's when his lawyer alerted the court that Dunning's mother, Lolita Dunning, had found raunchy videos of her son and juror number 8, a woman who had previously told the court she didn't recognize the defendant during jury selection. It turns out she kind of knew the defendant, like in the biblical way. Dunning's lawyer, Raymond Loving, said in court Thursday that Dunning and the juror had previously recorded 15 pornographic videos together, with some of the erotic footage showing the woman, well, taking care of his client. These videos show that Mr. Dunning received fellatio from a juror, Mr. Loving said. It's clear that she had an intimate relationship with the man she was later called for jury service to. His attorney's like, what the hell is going on here? The stunning revelation surfaced just weeks after the juror and the rest of the panel convicted Dunning of attempted murder, assault, and other charges for the shooting of his neighbor when she and her husband confronted him about allegedly laying hands on his girlfriend in their building. Now, the jury deliberated 2 days before finding Dunning guilty on all counts. As the judge was prepared to sentence him, the video surfaced. Over the course of several ensuing hearings, Dunning, his mother, and the juror testified before lawyers from both sides and the judge. The skin flicks, which were filmed by Dunning on 2 occasions, were viewed by lawyers and the judge at some point, but were ordered to be kept from public view. At one hearing on August 20th, the juror, who showed up to court wearing a mask while complaining of illness, admitted that she had had a one-night stand with Dunning at her Harlem home in about 2022 after the pair had met on Lenox Avenue. Now, she claimed that she didn't recognize him during the months-long trial until the jury reached its verdict and she had a clear view of him as she walked by the defense table. Now, the women never disclosed to the court during jury selection that she might have slept with Dunning. It's typical for a judge to ask prospective jurors if they recognize the lawyers or the defendants in the case. If a juror is familiar with someone, they're typically excused from service. In a bid to have Dunning's conviction tossed, his lawyer claimed gross juror misconduct had occurred, saying there was no possible way the juror couldn't have known who his client was at all for the entire duration of the trial. Of course she recognized him, Loving said, but Manhattan Assistant District Attorney Andrea Kimmel insisted that Dunning kept quiet about his previous relationship with the juror until his conviction to defraud the court. He sandbagged this court, Kimmel seethed. He withheld this information only to use it if the verdict wasn't in his favor. But the dopey gunman left a bread trail for prosecutors to find. Dunning had called his mom a month before his conviction and appeared to allude to the videos in a cryptic tone, warning her, "You're going to see something you might not want to see," prosecutors said. Inmate phone calls from the jail are sometimes monitored by authorities, and you are told that these phone calls are being recorded. Dunning's mother searched through her son's personal phone, and that's when she found the, X-rated videos and showed them to his lawyer. Prosecutors, meanwhile, defended the juror who testified she believed Dunning's name to be Ace, since that's what he used on social media. It's not something he inadvertently held back, Kimmel told the judge of Dunning's video. It's something he pocketed to use as a strategic, tactical advantage. Now, Connor agreed, denying the defense motion to dismiss despite acknowledging there was some degree of a sexual relationship between Dunning and the juror. That's what this was, deception and defrauding the court, the judge said of Dunning's actions. He could have easily taken care of this whole issue by just telling us what happened instead of keeping it a secret. Attempts to reach Lolita Dunning were unsuccessful. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office declined to comment. Dunning's lawyer said that they plan to appeal this conviction. I've been doing this for 30 plus years, but this is the first case of this type that I've ever had, Loving said of the hearing. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that a lot of lawyers have, hey, I might have slept with a juror and I have proof kind of stories going out there. You know, just doesn't seem to be what happens. Now, we are going directly into Lord Chippy, and this first one, what in the name of Hades is wrong with you, Georgia? I have all the questions between Chris Wolfenberger, between the Timms case, and now this choice. I think you, me, and Lord Chippy are going to agree that this woman doesn't need bail money.